My greetings and salutations to all. I am Professor Namita Rajput, Professor in Department of Commerce, Aurobindo College, University of Delhi. In the ongoing series of Art of Being Happy, today we will be discussing on more paradigms, frontiers and in depth about self, self-awareness, its relationship with happiness and many more. So let us start. The relationship between the self-awareness and the happiness is very complex. And the awareness plays a very vital role in promoting the overall perspective and the paradigms of happiness and the well-being. So definitely we are going to delve into it. The first and the foremost aspect is authenticity and alignment, followed by emotional regulation. The personal growth and development is another important thing. And of course, when you talk about a relationship enhancement, it is definitely the self-awareness extends to an understanding of how one's thoughts, emotions and the actions, they influence their relationships with the others. So individuals can engage in a very healthier and more fulfilling relationship when they have a very clear comprehension of their own needs, boundaries and communication styles. So stronger interpersonal relationship and a sense of belonging substantially contribute to the overall happiness. Next is we have a resilience and the coping strategies. The self-awareness permits people to identify their stressors, coping mechanisms and the behavioral patterns. So with this knowledge, individuals can develop the strategies to effectively manage the stress, navigate the obstacles and build the resilience. Possessing these coping abilities improves the emotional health and contributes to a more optimistic and resilient outlook on a life. The next is your gratitude and mindfulness. The self-awareness enables the individuals to cultivate a sense of gratitude and practice the mindfulness. Individuals can actually develop a greater apprehension for actually a positive aspects of their existence by being aware of their own thoughts, emotions and the surroundings in the present moment. This emphasis on the gratitude and the mindfulness has been associated with enhanced contentment and the well-being. So we can say knowing one's own self is very crucial to finding the fulfillment in life. It enables the people to be themselves, choose the actions that are in line with their values, deal with their feelings in constructive ways, build a very healthy relationship, expand their horizons and accept and care for themselves. So enhancing one's health and happiness is a direct result of one's efforts to gain insight about one's own self. The next important aspect is self-discovery and the personal growth. The personal growth and self-discovery are actually interrelated and intertwined, that involves examining one's identity, value system, strength, limitations and the goals. So they are the journeys of self-discovery and growth that result in a greater comprehension of one's own self and the realization of one's own potential. So definitely here is the analysis of the significance relationship between the self-discovery and the personal development. So first we are going to talk about understanding the values and beliefs. So exploring and recognizing one's fundamental values, beliefs and the principles is very important part of the process of self-discovery. And when we know what drives us, makes a good choice, consistent choice with their value system, then we also have to explore our own self and the identity, which is actually very important aspect. And self-discovery entails exploring one's identity and understanding the numerous roles, labels, characteristics which comprises who they are. Then of course the continuous development and the learning is also very important and is greatly dedicated to the personal growth, development, happy learning, personality, etc. The next is that we have to set our goals and taking the actions. So the personal development entails taking the deliberate measures towards these objectives, accepting the new challenges and continuously learning and expanding one's ability and the knowledge. So individuals experience a sense of progression, accomplishment and satisfaction through this process. Then we have to embrace the changes and become more resilient to the changes. Self-reflection and learning is also a very important part of the self-discovery and the personal development. It requires the consistent self-reflection and a dedication to lifelong learning. Individuals evaluate their experiences, behaviors and decisions through introspection. This self-reflection, it promotes the continuous development, self-improvement and refining of one's values and objectives. So overall self-discovery and the personal development are actually transformative process that enables the people to uncover their true self, embrace the change and realize their full potential. So individuals embark on a lifelong journey of the personal growth through self-awareness, exploration, goal setting, resiliency and self-reflection, leading to a very increased fulfillment, purpose and overall well-being. Next is we have a self-acceptance and self-compassion. The self-compassion and acceptance are fundamental to the happiness and development. They entail being compassionate and forgiving towards one's own despite one's apparent imperfections. So here we take a very closer look at the effects of self-acceptance and self-compassion. The first is your self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is a practice of recognizing and accepting one's own unique set of characteristics and experiences, flaws and all. It's about realizing that flaws are a part of their human and they don't determine one's values or the worth. So let us have a look on this. Individuals who are able to accept themselves as they are more likely to have a very positive self-image and high levels of self-esteem. And there are some benefits of self-acceptance. The first is improved self-esteem, higher levels of self-respect and the confidence. It results from a more positive perspective on one's own values and from a recognition of that value. Now, self-acceptance is actually a prerequisite for being one's true, unique self and for expressing that self freely. And as a result, they are better able to express and satisfy their actual thoughts, emotions and the wants. The positive self-judgment and less self-criticism are actually associated with improved emotional health, including a fewer feelings of stress, anxiety and sadness. It actually helps people become more emotionally strong and better able to deal with the adversities. Next we have is a better connections with the others. So the learning to love and accept oneself first makes one's more approachable, and when the people can accept their own flaws, they are better able to comprehend and empathize with the flaws of those around them, leading to a stronger bonds of friendship and the love. Next we have is a self-compassion. The self-compassion is a practice of treating oneself with the kindness, understanding and care, especially in the times of difficulty, failure or suffering. It is about responding to one's own self with the same compassion and support that one would offer to a friend or a loved one confronting the comparable obstacles. So self-compassion, it actually recognizes that everyone experiences the pain and the suffering and promotes self-soothing and self-nurturing. So there are some benefits what we are going to discuss now of the self-compassion, out of which the first is emotional resilience. The self-comparison provides emotional support and resilience to the individuals during a difficult circumstances. It enables the individuals to recognize their suffering and respond with comparison, promoting the emotional health and the coping skills. Next we have is a self-compassion. It assists the individuals in letting go of harsh self-judgment and self-criticism. It promotes the self-acceptance and the progress by encouraging a more understanding and forgiving mindset. Next we have is a self-improvement and motivation. Contrary to the popular assumption, self-compassion does not encourage the complacency. It establishes a foundation of the love and the support that encourages the people to learn from their mistakes, accept the responsibility, and work towards the personal growth and improvement. Next, very important aspect what we are going to discuss is the empathy and connection. The self-compassion fosters the empathy and understanding of one's own self, which actually naturally spreads to the others. It encourages a more sympathetic and empathetic approach in the relationships, resulting in a very stronger bonds and improved one's own well-being. So finally, we can say about the self-acceptance and the self-compassion are very effective strategies for promoting a well-being, emotional resilience and a successful relationships. They enable the people to embrace their authentic self, respond to adversities with the love and create a caring and nurturing relationship with one's own self. So individuals can actually enjoy more happiness, inner serenity and the personal growth by incorporating the self-acceptance and the self-compassion into their lives. Next we have is a role of authenticity in self-expression. The self-expression requires authenticity, which entails being true to one's own self and expressing one's genuine thoughts, sentiments, values and beliefs. When people embrace authenticity in their self-expression, they enable their distinctive voice and identity to shine through. The significance and the impact of authenticity in the self-expression are as follows. The first is your genuine expression. Authenticity encourages the individuals to express themselves without pretense or facades in a very genuine manner. It involves sharing a genuine thoughts, emotions and the perspectives as opposed to conforming to the societal norms or attempting to please others. Authentic self-expression promotes the congruence between an individual's internal experiences and the external communications. Next we have is building a meaningful connections. Establishing a meaningful connections, authentic self-expression, it enables the individuals to develop a deeper connections with the others. When people convey themselves in a very authentic manner, they encourage others to do the same. So this openness and vulnerability can actually lead to a deeper and more genuine relationships with the others, nurturing the trust, compassion and comprehension. Next is we have a self-acceptance and empowerment. The self-acceptance and empowerment, authentic self-expression facilitates the self-acceptance and empowerment. The individuals validate their own experiences and convictions by embracing and converging their authenticity. So this self-acceptance enables the individuals to assume the responsibility for their thoughts, emotions and decisions, resulting in increased self-confidence and a stronger sense of self. Next is we have a creativity and innovation. Authentic self-expression. It actually stimulates the creativity and innovation. Individuals are more likely to utilize their distinctive perspective, ideas and abilities, and when they are authentic, individuals are able to investigate unconventional approaches, challenge the status quo and contribute some novel insights and solutions, and when they express themselves in a very authentic manner. Next is we have emotional well-being. Emotional well-being, authentic self-expression is inextricably linked to emotional well-being. Individuals may experience frustration, dissatisfaction, or emotional distress when they suppress or conceal their true thoughts and emotions. Nevertheless, by expressing themselves in a very authentic manner, individuals respect their emotional experiences, which promotes the emotional authenticity, self-acceptance, and the overall well-being. Next is we have a personal growth and fulfillment. Personal development and satisfaction, authentic self-expression is actually a catalyst for the personal development and the satisfaction. It encourages the individuals to continuously investigate and develop their authentic self, leading to a self-discovery and the self-development. Individuals are able to align their actions with their values and passions through authentic self-expression, which actually fosters a sense of purpose, satisfaction, and fulfillment. Inspiring others. Others can be inspired and influenced by authentic self-expression. When actually people express themselves in a very authentic manner, they serve as a role model for those who may be struggling to discover their own voice. Individuals can actually motivate to embrace their authenticity and live more authentically by sharing their unique perspective and experiences. The next is your nurturing a very healthy self-esteem. Nurturing a robust sense of self-worth is actually very essential for the overall well-being and the personal development. It actually involves developing a very positive and a realistic self-perception, recognizing one's values and cultivating a self-confidence. So definitely we are going to analyze the significance and the strategies for fostering a very healthy sense of self-worth. The first is practice self-compassion. Self-compassion is a practice of treating oneself with very tenderness, understanding and compassion. Adopt self-compassion by recognizing that everyone makes the errors and the processes faults. Replace self-criticism with a self-encouragement and self-acceptance. Be kind to your own self. Next is challenge the negative self-talk. Now you should pay very close attention to your internal dialogue and challenge the negative self-talk. The positive and affirming beliefs should replace a self-defeating ones. Concentrate on your strength, achievements and the positive qualities. Develop a mindset that bolsters one's own self-worth and the potential. You need to set the realistic goals. Set attainable objectives. Set attainable objectives for your own self. And of course, to foster a sense of accomplishments and develop a confidence, you need to divide the larger goals into smaller, more manageable steps. Celebrate your progress, recognize your efforts along the road. Now surround yourself with some positive influences. Surround yourself with some positive influences with encouraging and supporting individuals. Avoid people which consistently bring you down or undermine your sense of self-worth. Seek out the relationship that fosters your development and the well-being. Next is that you have to practice a self-care. Engage in self-care. Give precedence to the self-care activities that promote the physical, emotional and the mental health. Engage in some enjoyable and self-enhancing activities such as pursuing the hobbies, practicing mindfulness, exercising and engaging in self-reflection. Next is we have embrace the mistakes as the learning opportunities. You need to accept the errors as valuable learning opportunities rather than viewing the errors as disasters. Viewing them as a valuable learning opportunities. Adopt a growth perspective that acknowledges the setbacks and the failures are inevitable. And it is very necessary for the personal development. You need to utilize your errors as a stepping stones on the path of improvement. Celebrate your uniqueness. You need to honor your individuality. Embrace your uniqueness and acknowledge the value you contribute to the world. Celebrate your strength, your talents, and the distinctive qualities. Appreciate the diversity and the glory of being unique and avoid comparing yourself to the attainable standards or accomplishment of the others. You need to seek support when needed. When struggling with the self-esteem issues, do not hesitate to seek support from the trusted friends, family members, or professionals. The therapist and the counselors can actually provide some guidance and techniques to aid in self-esteem development. You need to develop a very healthy sense of self-worth, which is actually, it is seen to be as a continuous process, and it requires the self-awareness, self-compassion, and the effort. By practicing the self-acceptance, positive self-talk, and surrounding oneself with the positivity, individuals can actually develop a solid foundation of self-esteem, resulting in increased confidence, resiliency, and the well-being. The next is we have the connection between the self-fulfillment and the happiness. Self-actualization and contentment are intertwined because they both contribute to an individual well-being and life satisfaction. The self-fulfillment is the feeling of achieving one's objectives, engaging in meaningful activities, and living in accordance with one's values and the interest. Happiness, however, is a very subjective experience of pleasure, contentment, and the positive emotions in general. When they are distinct concepts, there is actually a very substantial link between the self-actualization and the pleasure. The pursuit of the personal growth and development is actually a very crucial aspect of self-actualization. When individuals engage in activities that enable them to learn and grow, they frequently experience a sense of satisfaction. So the continuous improvement and the development, they contribute to a greater sense of self-accomplishment, self-satisfaction, and consecutively contentment. Achieving personal objectives and overcoming obstacles, they also contribute to a sense of accomplishment, thereby enhancing the overall contentment. Now, living in accordance with one's values and the passion is another crucial component of both self-actualization and contentment. Individuals experience a greater sense of purpose, fulfillment when they are able to identify their fundamental values and pursue the activities that are consistent with those values. So, engaging in activities that are personally meaningful and aligned with one's inclinations produces a profound sense of fulfillment and the happiness. This alignment between the values, between the passion, between the actions is actually necessary for a lasting pleasure. Now, in addition, self-actualization frequently involves cultivating a very positive relationships and connection with the others. So, important to one's own overall happiness are a sense of belonging, support, and affection, which are provided by meaningful relationships. So, engaging in a mutually satisfying relationships and cultivating a strong social connections, it enhances the well-being and contributes to a greater sense of fulfillment and contentment. It is actually essential to recognize that self-actualization and the pleasure are very subjective and the individual experiences. What brings one's fulfillment and contentment may not be the same for the other. So individuals must investigate their own passion, their own value system, their own objectives in order to discover their unique path of self-fulfillment and of course the happiness. So we can say that self-actualization and contentment are actually very closely intertwined. Engaging in activities that encourage the personal development, living in accordance with one's own values and passions, cultivating some positive relationship, they all contribute to a greater sense of personal fulfillment and overall contentment. Individuals can thrive for a more meaningful and fulfilling life that brings them the enduring happiness, and if they recognize and cultivate these relationships. Now coming on to the last aspect, balancing individuality and interconnectedness. The delicate ballet of balancing individuality and interconnectedness is the essence of human existence. As social beings, we seek connection and belonging, but also the freedom to express our individuality. Achieving a balance between these two fundamental aspects of life is very essential for both individual happiness and societal prosperity. Individuality is a core of who are as people. It includes our unique thoughts, beliefs, value system and the abilities that set us apart from the others. Now through this cultivation and expression of our individuality, we discover our passion, pursue our ambition and make the significant contributions to the world. Now accepting our uniqueness enables us to live authentically, nurturing a sense of self-worth and the happiness. However, an inordinate emphasis on individuality can result in alienation and isolation. Our interconnectedness with others is very essential for our emotional, psychological and even the physical health, as we are by nature social beings. So whether a family, platonic, communal, the relationship we form provide us with the support, affection and a sense of belonging. The interconnectedness enhances our sense of empathy, compassion, comprehension and nurturing a society that is more harmonious and inclusive. So finding a balance between individuality and interconnectedness and interdependence requires the effortful consideration. It involves the perceiving and respecting the unique qualities and the perspectives of others while honoring and embracing your own. It means appreciating the richness that diverse voices and experiences contribute to our lives and celebrate the diversity. So, in order to strike a balance between individuality and interconnectedness, we must cultivate empathy and an open mind, enabling us to forge the genuine connectedness and construct the bridges of understanding. So, while we are onto this path, we have to engage in these activities, respect the self-awareness, nurture the personal development and cultivate the positive life-changing. We need to have a complete catch of self-awareness, identify the goals and aspirations, evaluating the past experience, practicing the emotional intelligence and the self-compassion. So we need to be very authentic to our own self, manage the work-life balance and nurture the self-compassion, self-care, self-exploration and dedication to the personal progress. Thank you so much.